What's up, you CYBL Army and moneymakers? Welcome back to the channel. We are going to talk about Cyberlux Corporation. It has been trading between 0.01 and 0.013 for a long period of time. I want to talk about what is going on with this pink limited information, the yield sign that you see on OTC markets. We'll be also talking about what they have been doing in last few months in terms of their revenue, in terms of their profitability, and is CYBL still a good investment? I have been talking about CYBL that it could be a 3x, 4x opportunity in 2022. Will that still true in the current market position? If you think about NASDAQ, it's 11,127 points. Dow Jones is about 31,000. We did not really see CYBL go about 2 cents for a period of time. So that's why we want to talk about, more importantly, what is going to happen with this pink current. What are we expecting in terms of the price point? What we should expect in terms of the revenue and income, gross income, as we put behind the quarter two. Right now, we're officially on June 3rd or July 3rd rather, which is Q3, and what we can expect in terms of the revenue, because we have been consistently seeing that CYBL has been doing more than $2 million in revenue month over month. Will that continue in Q2? What are we going to hear in terms of the financial earning and all that kind of juicy and interesting information that I want to share with you? Before I go ahead, I just wanted to ask you if you can hit the like button. We need 250 likes for this Cyberlux video so we can share this information with more and more people. Yes, there is a lot of concerns around the yield sign from people. I hear that from your comments, and many of you reach out to me as well. So we will be talking a lot of information in this video, but in return, all I ask you is to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We need 250 likes, and we need to get about 15,500 followers or the subscribers on YouTube. So hit that like button and help motivate me a little bit more so I can do more and more of these videos. Without further delay, let me just jump into CYBL. So we are down 2.5%. We are also down in last 5 days, almost 9.30%, which is not really super interesting because we did not go above, once again, we did not go above 0.013, and that causes a bit of a concern while the market was up as well. If you take a look at for 1 month, for the most, we are around 1 cent, and we could not really reach 2 cents, but we are up 17%, which is a good news. If you think about 6 months, we are down 61%. But more than anything else, what is going on with this pink limited information? Now that happens on OTC markets when they do not have enough information to put a stock into the pink current position. So what CYBL has done is they have been talking to their lawyers as well. Both their lawyers and CYBL reached out to OTC market, and here is an update that we heard before a day. CYBL, a quick update, we were notified that OTC now, which is what we just talked about with the yield sign, OTC now requires our filing in OTC format. So they did not really use the OTC format the way the pink current information can be obtained, which is what OTC has the problem with. And they are talking about OTC now requires our filing in OTC format and not in SEC format. So that's the Security Exchange Commission format that we have always filed for pink current last year. The past 5 Qs and Ks, no matter, our pre-audit team is double overtime to get this done as soon as possible. And this is an update. This is the email that they have forwarded pink information posted to otcmarkets.com, Cyberlux Corporation. Now, one of the catalysts is once we see this pink current, there is a possibility that will spike in the volume because it creates more confidence and trust into the shareholder and stock community. So you may see the positive impact if and when we get this OTC pink current status, but that's a catalyst. So let's take a look at what this email talks about. Hello, we have processed the company's disclosure information posted on otcmarket.com. Review this issue with your security counsel and post an amendment disclosure at your earliest convenience. In my understanding, this has been done. 3/31st, which is March 31st quarterly report. In order to consider our current information, please use our disclosure format. So OTC is looking for a particular format. The template has been attached here for your more convenience. Please ensure that all the items are filled out in full and none are deleted or altered. We'll process company's documents again with the submission of the amendment reports and letter if applicable. Do not deactivate any duplicated or old annual filing until the company has qualified for the current information. Deactivating reports may affect your 211 status and result in companies moving to an expert market. And this is the compliance analyst from OTC Market Group that they already have. So which means all they need is in a different format, making sure that the information is transparent, readable by OTC, and follows the latest process and guidelines that OTC has set up for themselves, which is when they're going to get the pink current status. We do not really know how long it's going to take, but usually it takes few weeks before we can even hear back from OTC markets. So that is once again a big catalyst that can move the stock into the positive direction. Now, if you ask me what has changed, so number one, which is the yield sign that I just talked about. Now, you want to remember that this yield sign may go away within a month or two, which is when it will build more confidence. What else has changed? The second thing that has changed is companies' market cap because of whatever you are seeing the drop into the price point. The market cap is 60 million. We saw that about $120 million in market cap for this company. Now, the outstanding shares are 5.1 billion, float is 3.7 billion, and you'll ask me what exactly happened. What happened is the stock price cut in half, or 66% was slashed down, as I just talked about, not 66%, but 61% in last 6 months, which impacted their market cap, and their market cap right now is 68 million. Is that anything to do with their float? Probably not, because this is the understanding that I have personally. Now, I am not a financial advisor, nor I am a certified professional, so do your own due diligence. But what I believe is the change is sentiment into the market. That is number one. The overall market, if you think about this market right here, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, and S&P 500, take a look for last 6 months. NASDAQ itself is down 30%, which is a major dip into one of the bigger stock exchange index. Now, why is that? Number one, we have seen the impact from pandemic. Number two, we have seen the inflation. Inflation is causing a pretty big concern into the economy, especially in the United States. Third one is, as a result of inflation, Fed took some steps and they hiked the bond yield and the interest rates. That is also impacting economy. Now think about when the interest rate goes higher, the stock market goes lower, because people have more way to get fixed income with a lot more trust and certainty versus the stock market. Another thing that you also want to note is people started investing in cryptocurrency pretty high. What should have happened is it should be hedging against the stock market. At least that's my understanding. I am not a financial advisor. This video is only for the entertainment purposes. However, it did not really happen. And we started seeing the drop in terms of the cryptocurrency right at the time when the market started going down as well. That also impacted people's ability to believe in a lot of stocks, especially the small cap stocks or the micro cap stock in terms of CYBL. Fundamentally, Cyberlux Corporation has become more powerful in terms of the revenue, profitability, and the company's growth. Cyberlux Corporation released the amended first quarter financial earning and operation results, and this is a little bit dated, so this is last quarter. and you can expect something better than what we have done in terms of the financial numbers in Q1, because that's the guidance that company has been giving us for a long period of time. But take a look. The company in Q1 delivered $6.25 million in revenue and $1.24 million in net income for the quarter ended March 31st, 2022. Now, if you think about $6 million revenue, 1.2 million net income, that puts them about 20% or somewhere within the range of 20% of the overall revenue. Now, if they continue spiking up the revenue and if they continue the percentage as to what they make out of the total revenue, that is going to be a win-win situation, not only for Cyberlux, but for their shareholders as well. In compliance with OTC market, company filed the minor updates requested. I don't believe it's called minor updates, but it's a format change that they need to do. Requested and confirmed that the delivery of $6.25 million in revenue posted $1.25 million in net income for the period of ending March 31st, 2022, which is a 543% year-over-year increase in the net income growth, which puts the company in a very strong situation. Cyberlux revenue grew $6.2 million compared to $0 in revenue, which is a key thing that I really want you to note, because they did not have any revenue. Right now, they're doing $6.2 million in revenue in the first quarter of 2021, and this is going to 10x. I really believe, and I don't debate too much about it, the revenue is going to be 10x within next 1 year. Now, this is the revenue for the quarter. I'm not saying that they'll be doing $60 million revenue in quarter. What I'm trying to say is they'll be doing $60 million revenue next year for the entire year. And what that means is if they continue with this growth, that 1.2 million, and if you multiply this by 10, that will be $12 million in the net income that will grow from 1.2 million to 10x, which is 12 million. Now, let's talk about what these numbers tell us. So right now, the revenue is 6.2 million compared to $0 in revenue in the first quarter of 2021. They achieved 543% in increase year-over-year net income growth as well, versus the $193,000 that they had last year. Cyberlux revenue grew 13.8% quarter-over-quarter from the fourth quarter in 2021. Now remember, Q4 usually is a slower or the better quarter or the growth quarter for many companies, and also for Cyberlux. They did 13 to 14% more quarter over quarter than Q4 to Q1, which means they fuel the revenue up to an extent that next Q4, so in 2022, the Q4 is going to be an extraordinary, stunning Q4 that I foresee for myself based on what I am seeing. Cyberlux's management expects the quarterly revenue growth to continue during 2022 and expect a record second quarter of 2022. Which is why I believe that this 1.2 million that we saw in Q1 will be a history, and they'll be doing even more, possibly more than 1.5 million just in net income in Q2 2022. Going forward, the company's acquisition and organic growth strategy continues to expand across the 4 business units that we already know. So I just wanted to share this information with you. Now, when we talk about the stock, we really want to see some pointers as well. So if you take a look, their average volume, 31.7 million. Their volume on Friday was 14.6 million. Now remember, this is an OTC stock, not a NASDAQ, not on NYSE, not on any major stock exchange. Everything happens is over the counter or OTC. And still, in my opinion, this is a pretty good volume. Yes, it cut in half, more than half, compared to the average volume. So 31 million, 14.4, or almost 15 million. If you take a look at the historical volume, here is the number. So we saw 20 million on June 21st, and we dropped in volume. June 23rd, we saw 51.3 million in revenue, and then we dropped, and we're consistent between 10 to 15 million. So 10 million, 13 million, 14.6, so almost 15 million, whereas our stock price is very much between 0.01, which is right here, and 0.013 1 or 3, which is right here, 28, 125, 122. So there are a few things that we are waiting for. Number one, the catalyst, in terms of the catalyst, in terms of the positive catalyst, and I truly believe that this is a good 2x or 3x opportunity if all of the above happens. Number one, if we get rid of this yield sign, if we become pink current, and it creates more confidence. Second thing is, once again, we are around the corner of Q2 closing, and the companies will have their own numbers, financial earnings, and the profitability and income and growth and all the kind of juicy, interesting information. But if we hear a ton more good news around that, which we will, in my opinion, based on my research, again, I am not a financial advisor, but that is also going to boost the price point. Number three, we need to see more volume and overall positive sentiment. If our volume doubles, triples, quadruples from the 14 million, which means we'll be doing 60 million in the volume on a given day, that will create some momentum into the stock price, for the most part, into the positive direction. And lastly, we want to see the market momentum picks up as well. So we need to see more green day than the red days. And in that case, most of the stock will start getting their momentum back, especially the small cap stocks, because they were hammered a ton when we saw the downturn. So when we see the uptick, the small caps will be relatively higher or spike more than the large cap stocks. If you take a look at right here, we are consistent between, once again, just wanted to show the chart, between 1.1 and 1.3. I wouldn't be surprised once we get this news, more news, if we go 2.5 to 3. So close to 3 cents, which is 3x than where we are right at the moment. So, which is what I am thinking. For the disclaimer, I do own CYBL at the moment. Take it with a grain of salt. This is not an advice. I am not a financial advisor. Do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're feeling extra happy, click the join button, click the thanks button. I'll be really grateful to you. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.